after, so it said I had to send it to you first and wait.
So we just waited. But anyway, we can go over after, sorry.
No, but this is really awesome because what we're talking about is the homework from these two guys are in Essentials, right?
Nice.
And so they had homework from the last Essentials class, and one of the challenges is to figure out how to do the e-signature. And here we go. You don't want this happening with your client, right? So that's, you can see the value of practicing. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, definitely.
Just wonderful that happens. So you guys, everybody introduce yourself. This is Corey. He's just joined us.
Corey,
Good to meet you guys.
I'm Deb, and this is Terry.
Deb, Terry,
And you're
Carol Zoom.
Carol Zoom.
Carol Zoom. Nice to meet you.
Corey. Joining
She zooms around on that chair of hers.
No kidding. Look at you, great haircut. It's so short. It's fabulous.
You know what happened? I hated it and I just cut it.
You kind
I did, and I cut a big hole into it, you know, so I gotta let it. But I know I need to.
Actually looks great.
Yeah, thank you. I need to stop having it. I like my ears.
Ha
All right, so have you ever gone in here before?
I haven't really messed around with stuff in here, but
That's all right. Okay.
Are we going through command or just,
No, this is a zip forms class.
yeah, is it not in, I know everything was getting consolidated, so I may have missed the memo.
Well, now this is an interesting question. So what she's talking about is in command, you make an opportunity, right? You have a client, and you want to do all of your transaction and forms in command. You nevertheless have to go into zip forms. You have to create a file folder for this transaction, and you need to pull whatever documents in there that you might want to use. Then you can link it to command, because you can only link folders, file folders, into command. You can't link individual forms.
How do you make the folder?
Okay, that's a command class. This is going to be a zip forms class.
The folders are in zip form though, right?
Yeah. Just like we did for listing the other day, we're going to make a folder for a purchase today. So we're going to go over that again. So have no fear. Absolutely.
We didn't know where to find our things.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Awesome. See, it's overwhelming, isn't it? So yeah, I'm so glad we're going over it again. That's great. So just to answer your question, you should be able to fill out the entire forms in DocuSign in your room if you want to go that route.
Okay.
6 1/2 dozen of the other, right? Because ultimately, you still need to send your contract to somebody else to get it signed. You're going to get it fully executed in an email, and that, or you scan it if somebody wet signature gave you wet signature, and that is what's going to have to go into your command folder. So, is the room really essential? Well, it's got documents in there, but we haven't yet
Coordinated or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not quite clear on how this room is going to work for us. So I gotta figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question partially stemmed from somebody said if you were doing it through command, you had to have a different password for, I thought it was for zip forms, but I could be mistaken. Okay.
No, absolutely not. So,
Thank you.
and I'm happy to take you through how to pull those after
Awesome. Thank you.
we leave here. All right, so we've got some handouts here. And I think I have enough. How exciting is that? Identical.
Thank you. I love how you always prepare stuff.
I don't know, some of them are front to back and some of them are not. I try to not throw these things out, so I try to hang on to them. Okay, so here is the some instructions, and this is material that should be in your folder, in your Passport to Success notebook. There was a tab in there of lists or how-tos, and this is before you write an offer and how to write an offer at Keller Williams. So those should be in there. So before you write an offer, This is one of those lists you definitely want to hang on to. I can't tell you how often I needed this when I first got started, because you don't write an offer every other day. So if there's time in between, you're going to go like, oh dear, what am I supposed to do? What was that? You know, so it's just really helpful to have a list. So what is that? First of all, always call your broker, please, and let your broker, or text and let your broker know that you're going to need them in a couple of hours because you're preparing a contract. It's really helpful to know where your broker is. So we do go to the movies, we go out to dinner, we do things. And sometimes, because you be writing offers on Friday nights, I guarantee you, Friday and Saturday nights are like popular offer times. I don't know what that is. So call your broker. And then you want to research before you write a contract. The first thing you want to do is, as you're sitting with your client and just going over what it is you're going to offer and prepare the contract for them, is to write down the things that they're concerned about. So if you say to them, so tell me anything that you want to specifically address in this contract about this particular house. Is there anything that comes to mind? Well, you know, we're going to be on vacation next week. Okay, great. I got that. Thank you. We're going to be on vacation. What are the dates of your vacation? I'm going to write that down, right, because it might impact timing. Anything else? Well, you know, there was that stupid squeaky back gate to the backyard and falling. I mean, that was ridiculous. We'd like to have that fixed, okay? Back gate fixed, okay? I need to write those down. And here's psychologically what happens. People have these issues with a house, right? And they're concerned about them. And when you do this, it's like they give you the problem. And it now lets them relax, right? Because now that you've taken over the thing that they're most concerned about. So that's what you want to do. You want to be sure to write all those things down. You also want to write down their name. So you go like, really, Marion, write down their name. Yes, because I want to know, how do you spell your name? That's John, John, and Smith, Smith, and you're probably saying, Marion, you're joking. Well, you know something? There's Smiths with E at the end of it, aren't there? And if I don't ask you, lo and behold, you'll be one of those with an E at the end. So I have done this. I have misspelled clients' names on a contract, and it's mortifyingly embarrassing. It's just like, you don't want to go there, so I just caution you about that. So ask them how they spell their name. All right. Next one is to pull the tax record. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to talk about pricing, right? You've got your client sitting here, and now you're going to talk about pricing and what do they want to offer, and how long do they want to do this, and did they get a pre-approval letter from their lender? Can they call their lender and ask their lender, and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to resolve all that with your client. The pricing, if they've been looking for a long time and there hasn't been anything that's appealed to them, and suddenly this house comes up, you are going to have to do a CMA. And you do it right there with them, right? Just take them in the conference room, turn on the screen, and say, let's look at what's out there today that is going to, that kind of compares. Welcome. And for somebody who's been looking just in the last month and a half or 2 months and has looked at everything, they're so aware of the market, you almost don't need to do a CMA, because everything you've looked at is the CMA, right? So they are so aware of the market, they're going to be able to say, you know, for that house, and it just came on market yesterday, I'm like, I think that's a good price. Do you think we should offer them full price? And I might go, well, it's 2 days after they've come on market. Yes, I think if you want to get this house and snag it, I agree with you. It's priced right. Let's offer full price. So people will have that sense themselves, right? Now, you're going to run into people who say like, oh, but, you know, can we get it for less? And now comes the rest of our to-do list. Well, let's find out everything we can about the property, and then when you come back, I'm going to send you off to get a cup of coffee over at Starbucks, and come back in an hour, and I'll have completed the contract for you, and we can review everything. Is that okay? So what am I going to do now is I'm going to pull the TMK and the permits. I'm going to make sure that stuff is permitted on this property, right? I might know from the listing agent and I might not. So it's always good to just double check. And where do we do that? We pull our tax record right here or right in the listing, right? You hit the Real List button and get the listing information. Right from the listing, you get the tax record. And if you want to look up permits, you go to KivaNet and you put in the tax map number for that property, and it's going to give you the permits. And you click on every permit and you look for, did it get issued? Did it get accepted? Did it get approved? And you'll see approval dates, and you'll see some are open, and then you'll see, and you just have to go through the permits and say, what's here? So you find out that everything on the property is permitted. And then you're going to need to call the seller's agent for special terms and conditions, and this is really important. The first question you're going to want to ask this listing agent is the seller entertaining any other offers, or is one expected? So here the question is, does that change how we might write our offer, right? Exactly. It's crucial to know this. And if they say, no, I haven't gotten another offer. No, I'm not expecting one at this point. No. Go, well, I'm just sitting here. I'm going to be writing an offer, and we'll be getting you an offer. So tell me something. How many showings have you had? Well, we only went on market yesterday, as you know, and I've already had 3 showings, but I have another 4 set up for the next 2 days, and then we're going to be putting it on Caravan on Thursday, you know, or whatever it is, right? So you go like, okay, 4 more showings, and I bet you by the time I hang up, he's going to get a request for 2 more showings. So there's a lot of activity. So no offer yet, but a lot of activity. Again, is that going to play into our strategy? You get it, exactly. So now we just asked some other question. Does the seller have a closing date or timing needs? Yeah, my seller does not want to move out until we get final loan approval. Okay, I gotta write that down. No move out until final loan approval. So we're gonna have to give him, is 2 weeks after final loan approval enough for your seller to move out? 2 weeks? No, make it 3. Okay, 21 days after final loan approval is closing. That's what you're looking for, right? Okay, great, I got it. Why would you write an offer without knowing that, so that you can write an offer that's more appealing, right? If we don't ask the question, if we just write an offer, we wouldn't have known that. Now we've got to go back and forth, and the offer is yeah. Does the seller have any special considerations, anything to be included or excluded? Does the seller plan to make any repairs? Anything? Yeah, they're going to leave the shed in the back, you know, that Rubbermaid shed thing. Yeah. Oh, okay, great, that's awesome. What else? And they're going to leave the lawnmower. Okay, lawnmower. Writing all this down. And anything else? Yeah, they're going to take the little pond in the front yard. They're taking the pond in the front yard. Okay, they would like to take the pond. I'm making it up, but people come up with the weirdest stuff. You wouldn't believe it, right? I did this once over a statue, this old statue in a courtyard in a house. And my client loved the statue. Oh no, this was a family heirloom. Hi. So now I had to find my client a new statue. Bird baths, gazebos, they disappear, whatever. So we want to make sure we've got that covered, right? Does the seller have an escrow company that they request? No, but I'd really appreciate it if you worked with, you know, Fidelity. And you go, well, do you have any problem with working with First Hawaiian? I really prefer Shannon at First Hawaiian. Is that okay with you? So the reason you want to settle this now is because the escrow company is really between the agents. It's not, most clients don't really care, right? Unless they bought something else recently and the title company they work with are offering them a discount. So I'm going to tell you right now, every other escrow company will honor that discount. Just so you know. So we also know that it's the buyer's right to choose the title insurance. Title insurance and escrow are married in Hawaii, So it's one and the same. You can't use this escrow officer and get title insurance somewhere else. Can't be done. Doesn't work that way. So you just want to settle this over the phone so that you are not countering your contract for the escrow company, because the buyer and seller don't really care.
But it's the buyer's choice.
It's the
ultimately.
buyer's right, that's correct. So can you be a little pushy about that? You bet. My buyer would prefer to use First Hawaiian. Really, is that your buyer or you? Well, is it your seller or you that is offering, that is wanting fidelity or whatever? And he says, well, my seller just recently bought another property and so he's getting a discount. I'm sure we can extend the same discount. If we extend him the same discount from First Hawaiian, would it be okay with him? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, fine, thanks. Okay, thank you. Right, so yes, you can definitely push it. Here's my thing about escrow companies and whatnot. While I love working with some people, I'm always open to trying other escrow officers because they change and it's okay with me. I want to know how other people work, and that's how I got to find really good escrow officers, is by trying different escrow officers. You don't really know until you do a deal with them, right, as to how they actually operate. So they're all going to be helpful and do their job. Just some of them are like on it, like 2 hours after something's happened, they're already emailing you and getting you posted. And some of them it takes a day or so. So it just changes a little bit that way. And that's not to say that somebody who's a little slower, that's terrible. Sometimes getting the thing too fast is a little like, oh, am I supposed to be doing something right? Is there an issue here, right? It's like a little overkill sometimes, so I've had that happen. And, so you'll figure it out. All right, call the buyer's lender to review timing and to get accurate pre-approval letter. There's one more question to the seller. Is the seller available to review an offer quickly, or is the seller out of town or on a sailboat somewhere? What's the story? And there's always a story, and you just want to know how quickly the seller will be available to review the offer. That's not on our list. All right, then call the buyer's lender and review the timing. So it's the buyer's lender who, when you say to the lender, hi, I'm working with Marion Haller and we're going to put in an offer, and I just want to know, I understand you've pre-approved her, and what kind of timing does she need? Or do you need to get her the loan? And the lender says, oh, Marion, well, what do you mean, oh, Marion? She said you pre-approved her. Yeah, I did pre-approve her, but Marion's self-employed, and she's going to need a bunch of extra documentation. So it's really dependent on her. I haven't received all that documentation. So if she can get back to me within a week from when you sign everything, I can get you final loan approval in 30 days. I go, okay, great. So no issue as long as she does that. Now, I have another question. The seller doesn't want to close until 21 days after final loan approval. Is that going to be an issue for Marion's loan? Oh, yeah, that means we shouldn't lock her loan until 30 days prior to closing. So we're not going to lock her loan until we get conditional loan approval or even later, because the loan lock only lasts for 30 days. So I have to tell him this, right? He has to know these are the circumstances, so that he understands what kind of loan to apply for the client. So you want to have a conversation with the lender. It's really helpful to be on the same page as the lender. And people, have done, oh, I've talked to my lender, oh, that's okay. I say, do you mind if I talk to your lender so that your lender and I can establish a relationship, because we're going to be working together. Is that okay with you? And then just step in there and do that. Read the listing and realtor remarks carefully about the inclusions and exclusions, right? Those are the ones you're going to pick up for the contract. And it's always helpful, like in the realtor remarks it often says, please include as is addendum, right? Anymore, says that a lot. In regard to your special terms that your clients want, now we want to double check that all those items are covered, right? Everything that I wrote down on my yellow pad here, I have to make sure when I am finalizing my contract. And then I'm gonna call my broker to review, or text my broker and say, I've just sent you the contract to review. If you're working with me, I like the contract to be sent to me via email through ZipForms, and then I give you changes, and then you send it to me for signature. Either way. Okay, so we have no signature. What happened here? Oh, okay. So now we're gonna go into ZipForms. And the second portion of our instruction sheet says, first of all, be sure to teach Clarity your login for that you received through the Keller Williams email that you got. And when you log in, you should see this. Do you get your, when you log in, do you have a file there already? Right? Your test file or whatever it was. Okay, so.
You have more files.
I
So
don't.
you are not,
Okay.
you're blank, you're a
Yes.
clean slate.
You have more files than I do. I gotta work harder.
Well, these, if you notice, it says test,
Oh.
test, test.
Well,
And here's
okay.
123 Main Street, which is another test.
Ah,
This one's a real one. Here's a test, here's a test. So, you know, I cheat. Because I keep making new folders and I have to go in and clean it. So to make a new transaction, start a new client, you go to new. Hit the green button and the plus sign and hit new. And we today are doing a new purchase or offer. And the way you want to name your files is by the address, comma, semicolon, whatever you like, and then your client's name. So back to 123 Main Street, and I'm going to go 456 Main Street. And my client is Betty Byer. And what would you like to buy today? Would you like Betty to buy a condo, or would you like her to buy a house? We're gonna use a house because there's more stuff to do. Let's do a house. So we're gonna do residential. And down here it says select a template. Do you see that? Select a template line, and you go there, and a whole list comes up, and it's called global this, global that, blah, blah, blah. Global means that all of us at Keller Williams can see these templates. If you see blank here, you're not in the Keller Williams ZipForms. So we are doing a purchase contract, that's a PC, not condo, not land, single family, financed. Right? We click on that. We don't need to make any more comments, and we're going to save. Any questions?
Single family finance. Sorry.
You get it? It was on the bottom of mine, so you might have to scroll down.
Yeah, just scroll down to the bottom.
She's got a smaller screen, so it.
Single family template.
Are you having an
So
issue,
it's-
Terry?
Yeah, I'm not finding mine either. What's it called?
Single family.
It's
finance.
called
I see condo finance, but not.
PC.
PC, land,
Yeah.
SF, cash, finance.
Single family finance.
Got it, sorry.
You just need to scroll down.
Got it.
Show me your other file. Single family finance.
Well, you already did it. You're already on there.
Okay.
Or is it, wait, that's something else.
Wait.
Yeah, that's something else.
See, purchase
So you wanna make a new file. Name it, test, whatever. It's a residence. And you are not in Keller Williams. Okay, Latasha? Did she just leave? Like that. All right, let me do this. I need to send Erin an email to get her reset password. I'm going to send you a reset password email. And I just want to make sure what your email is. I have it erinlukow@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go into your email, please, and follow this this link and make yourself a Zip Forms account based on what that email says. Now, how to reteach the Clarity dashboard, what your proper login is. I'm not quite sure how to do that. I'll find out. Somebody does know how to do that.
Is it a regular, like you go into Clarity and you click on Zip
I
Form?
heard you calling for Latasha, is there something I can help you with?
Nah.
Okay.
Did it.
We're logging into Zip Forms through Clarity right now, right?
You should. It's my way to go in because it's the easiest way, because that you're also going to need the tax record and the
It's all in
permits, and
there, yeah.
it's all there. Just go to the Clarity dashboard to log into your real estate stuff. It is quite convenient. Did you get that email, Erin? Okay, good. All right. Back to
Listing
transactions.
condo template, that's the one you should have chose.
Uh,
What we're looking for is the auto.
You guys have questions? Share your questions.
Where's that data form?
The exhibit A, is that gonna be in here too?
No, because we're not doing a listing. We're doing a
Ah, gotcha.
contract. We're
I know,
buying.
but I was
Betty is
asking, I
buying.
was asking from yesterday.
But it would be in there if we went into.
So all of your
something else.
forms are always right here. All forms are here.
Okay, that's where we got it from. I just wondered if there should be a global one that was pre-filled or something.
Data input forms by their nature can't be pre-filled,
Okay.
right? Except for the word Keller Williams somewhere maybe. But other than that, it's totally property specific. So however, it should come up in your template. You should have gotten it in your template. When you pulled a listing condo and applied that template, the data input form should have come up for you. Okay?
No.
You can
It's
try
just
it right
words.
now.
It's just words, it's not.
So go back,
Okay.
hit the back button up here, the green back button.
Well,
The green back button. Back buttons are always on the top left. Big
I
green
think
back.
I must have done it. I don't know, I'm back to,
You're back to the screen
back
where
to
you
that.
have your files.
yes,
Start a new file.
okay, new
Go to listing.
listing. Condo
Name it test.
test. Okay. Condo.
Make it a condo.
Mm-hmm,
Make it a listing.
mm-hmm.
And
templates?
now you're gonna select a template. And you're gonna pick the listing for condo template.
Okay,
Okay? And you're gonna hit save.
okay.
Hold on. It now opens you into that transaction. Go to the documents. That's the third tab over in the medium gray color. Documents.
There it is. Okay, that's what we couldn't find yesterday.
We
Why
missed
we
that
used-
step. Okay,
You missed the template step.
I think
So
so.
let me
Will
show
say
you
template
something.
from
Here is a wonderful answer to that. If you get here and you don't have any documents in, you go, oh shoot, I forgot to pull a template. That's how you know you forgot to pull a template. And what can you do now? You go right up here where it says apply template. See this apply template button right here?
Mhm.
Look what happens when I push that. There they all are. So if you open a transaction and it has no forms in it, you forgot to pull a template. Just go to the apply template button and get the templates.
Can you also get that template from All Forms? Green button on the right.
No.
Not Keller Williams.
It was.
No,
Okay.
you can get the form,
Yeah,
but it'll be blank.
that's what we did. Okay.
I understand.
Except it's
I'm
like
trying to teach you how to, in
Okay.
future, recognize.
So don't do it that way. It's not an option.
Yeah, of course it's an option.
It's just harder.
It's just more work.
Got it.
And you're not gonna fill out the contract necessarily to how we want you to fill it out, so now your broker's gonna say, why'd you do this, why'd you do that, why'd you do this, why'd you do that?
Right.
The whole point of a template is we filled out some of the pukas for you because we would like to run our business that way, right? And then you can say, Marion, in this instance, I'd like to do something different, and we would talk about that.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so to go back to where we were,
Property summary?
is it gonna be in documents?
All right, so we are in
You created a.
Betty
new
Byer. I'm
single
here with Betty
family.
Byer. Let's go
Yeah.
back to our topic at hand.
She's trying to find the
So
new.
then I'm gonna go back to that,
Go back,
My
hit the back
documents?
button.
oh,
Hit the green back button, and go back to your main screen, which has the boxes.
I don't have a back.
Oh, it's green, isn't it?
Well, then you are here. Are you here,
No,
Terry?
I'm in documents, with the condominium one still.
Go back
So,
to list.
Party summary,
First of all, this is a small screen to begin with.
Did you just finish the class, get your license, or she said
Yeah.
you were newish?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
What were you doing before this?
I still have to work.
I'm gonna ask you what.
Yes,
So
you
I worked up at Kapalooza Pines,
Oh.
Kapalooza, and then Plantation Golf Course.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine didn't
wait,
say
is that
either
also
for
on
some
that
reason.
side?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're right by each other.
Start
Okay,
again.
very cool,
Yeah.
wow. Lots of outdoor.
Yeah, definitely.
I live up Haiku Way, so
Oh, cool.
you guys seem so far.
It's very
We
cool.
went up there to the Nakahela.
Whoa.
Yeah, boy, very pretty and just felt like another island.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I am stuck, organize. There is
Are you,
no
you have a
guide
sphere
and
of
help.
influence that you think will help you sell some
I don't
homes
get
or
it.
buy some homes or whatever?
I've never
An
seen
influence.
this.
Your database, you starting to cultivate the way to get the word out that you have a license?
So I see a lot of people every day at my job, and I've built a relationship
And yours is
with
doing
them.
the same thing?
Yeah,
Well, I didn't find
I've
mine,
actually had
so I
people,
just started a
like
new
I've
one
told
there.
people
Oh, I can go back,
working
yeah,
on my
she
real
can't
estate
go
license,
back.
and they were like, well, when you get your license,
I
I know.
was in a different
Nice.
screen, if I go
So
back, then I
There's
can
a
go
guy
back
named Boz, I
into,
don't know if you've met Boz,
that's her screen,
Boz
that's how she's
Johnson.
got her box.
He does, work
No,
with top
no, this is the one for the
10,
condo I just
5,
saved.
1% teams
Or documents.
across the nation, and he lives here on Maui and helps all of us at Keller
And there's a
Williams
whole
get our
other
businesses
wall.
started.